The government has issued the third wave prevention and control order as the country reported the highest COVID-19 infection rate till date yesterday. Even as the government has also intensified its booster dose campaign, health experts view that a lack of discipline on behalf of people carrying symptoms but not getting tested or isolating themselves has triggered a massive rise in the number of cases. Thus, the onus is once again on general public to abide by the health and safety guidelines in our fight against the pandemic. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. Alarming surge of coronavirus cases continues in Nepal with almost 9,000 positive cases identified through RT-PCR tests. Valid districts extend prohibitory measures to combat the rise. High-level Political Coordination Committee of ruling coalition parties urges for holding elections by following constitutional provisions, delves into ensuring victory for the coalition at National Assembly. Tongo says the island nation has been hit by an unprecedented disaster in the government's first update since a volcanic eruption triggered a tsunami. And misery for Ghana as the four-time champions crash out of the African Nations Cup following a 3-2 loss against debutant Comoros. COVID-19 cases have been alarmingly rising in the country in recent time. Out of the 22,828 samples tested, 8,730 returned positive through RT-PCR test, while 1,528 have returned positive through antigen test yesterday. With this, the country's tally of positive cases through RT-PCR test has reached 868,215. Meanwhile, one more person succumbed to the virus yesterday, taking the death toll to 11,624. Kathmandu has reported the highest 4,004 new cases yesterday, followed by Lalitpur with 975 new cases. Meanwhile, 562 infected individuals registered full recovery as the recovery rate has dropped to 94.2%. There are 39,044 active cases in the country at the moment. That includes 151 in intensive care units and 28 on ventilator support. Meanwhile, giving continuity to the previous orders, the district administration officers of Kathmandu Valley have prohibited operation of movie theatres, dance bars, gymnasiums and health clubs, swimming pools, futsals and all places with possibilities of crowd until the 29th of January. Academic institutions have also been directed to implement virtual or alternative means to avoid physical classes until the 29th of January. The Ministry of Health and Population makes public the updates on coronavirus cases every day after 4 p.m. In this report, we dissect and analyze how information on coronavirus cases from across the country are collected and studied before being made public. More in this report.
Health Emergency Operations Center is instituted in premises of Ministry of Health and Population. The 7 provincial health emergency operations centers collect information on new daily coronavirus cases, vaccinations, number of patients at intensive care units, and those on ventilator support from hospitals, labs, district health offices, and local levels before sending them to the central HEOC. Data are collected for 24 hours from 2 p.m. every day. Such data are studied and assessed by the experts, doctors, and officials of the World Health Organization, and visual representation resources such as graphs, tables, and charts are created to facilitate public understanding. The final report is then made public after 4 p.m. every day through the website and social media platforms, including the live press briefing on the state television. Despite all the refining processes, some errors are still found regarding the number of patients undergoing treatment at the ICUs and ventilators. In early days, data collection and assessment was a complicated process. However, information from across the country is now collected through a centralized mechanism. To avoid occasional errors, the ministry needs to develop and use sophisticated software.
Coronavirus cases are spreading at an alarming rate in the community. Despite the exponential rise in cases every other day, the government and the public seem to be lacking seriousness in implementing the preventive measures. Minister for Tourism, Culture and Civil Aviation Prem Ali had reached Pasupati area on Sunday to take stock of the Dharmashala. The minister was accompanied by journalists, security personnel and other assistants. Despite initial hesitation to delay the test, Minister Ali returned a positive test when he finally underwent a RT-PCR test after repeated urgency from his well-wishers. This very trend of ignoring the health and safety guidelines and undergoing tests only after witnessing serious health issues has led to the exponential increase in coronavirus cases in recent days. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the active coronavirus cases as of Tuesday stand at 39,044. This data excludes the massive number of individuals who could be infected with coronavirus but have yet to undergo a test. Likewise, efforts have not been made in regard to ensuring effective facilities for quarantine and holding centres. The executive and the judiciary bodies seem to be dysfunctional in recent time. The ruling coalition has been mulling over whether to hold the three-tier election simultaneously or the tenure of the elected representatives is expiring soon. The parliamentary session has been stranded due to obstructions from the main opposition, while the judiciary has been mired in its own share of controversies. More in this report.
The Election Commission has proposed holding local level elections within May. However, the government has remained indecisive on the election dates amid confusions caused by the difference in constitutional provisions and laws. The meeting of the high-level Political Coordination Committee that comprises leaders of ruling coalition partners held on Tuesday made it evident that the ruling coalition has still not been able to reach a consensus regarding the election dates. Based on the Election Act, the government should hold the local-level elections by May, while the constitution provisions for elections within 6 months of the end of the term of the local representatives. The ruling coalition's dilemma on the election schedule has continued despite the lapse of weeks since the Election Commission recommended the proposed dates. Apart from the indecision on the election dates, the parties of the ruling alliance have also lacked seriousness on issues of border disputes, COVID-19 crisis management, and the plunging of economy amid the pandemic, among others. The opposition, meanwhile, have continued to obstruct government proceedings by protesting at parliamentary sessions and boycotting all-party meetings called by the government.
In our Public Voice segment, we had asked locals in Madhya province what they thought of the province's new name and capital. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
पूर्व कालदेखि मिथिला थियो राजा जनकको
मधेस प्रदेश नाम गरेर हाम्रो संस्कृतिलाई मिटाउन लागेको छ।
मधेसको आन्दोलनको उपलब्धिको रूपमा म लिन्छु।
81 यो शब्द आउनु भनेको हाम्रो पहिचानमाथि प्रहार हो।
यो 8 जिल्लामा खुम्चिएको मधेसी दलको यो राम्रो लागेको छैन।
सबभन्दा खुसी लाग्यो।
जानकी भइदिएको भए सबभन्दा पहिला उपयुक्त हुन्थ्यो।
राजधानी र नाम त राम्रै हामीहरूलाई लाग्यो।
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: what do you think has led to the poor performance of Nepal Oil Corporation? Your options: option A, flaws in policies and regulations; option B, managerial weakness; and option C, consequence of irregularities. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.